Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. We are into the Maryland Campaign, which is the campaign that led up to the Battle of Antietam. So we've got Crampton's Gap, South Mountain, which actually Crampton's Gap pretty much borders South Mountain. It's the gap in between two mountains that include South Mountain, and then right into Antietam. So we're going to dive into Crampton's Gap. I should have a decent advantage in numbers here. I'm going to take my 2nd Corps, which has 8 brigades fully maxed out of infantry. Almost all of them have 1855 rifles now, either Springfields or Harpers Ferry, which we're actually fighting very near to. And then I've got 2 elements of long-range artillery that I'll be using in this one. So, all right, I got to drop one of these guys out, so I'll figure that out when I get in there. So here's what's happening. 21,820 men, 48 guns, up against half that number. But they're in a pretty strong position, and I'm not going to get my whole force all at once. So here's what I want to do. Let's start by dropping these guys out and getting my other artillery unit in there. And then we'll kind of go from here. And I'm going to wait until I get that full force in before I launch my attack. So, Ashley, you can see your unit is making its debut here, John Brown's Barkers. I wanted to get some even better weapons than this, but right now, 10-pound Parrots are the best long-range gun I can get. We'll upgrade them as we can, and hopefully we'll get them up to a 2-star unit before too long so they can be more effective. But for now, we've got 10-pound Parrots, and we'll start firing on his batteries as soon as I can get into range and I can see them. Now, this is a tough battle because he's got a strong position holding this gap. And even though I outnumber him 2-to-1, I can expect probably some significant casualties, at least initially. What I want to try to do is just let him get worn down and run out of ammo and then just overrun him and cause all kinds of casualties. Historically, in terms of the numbers of troops engaged, it wasn't a real big battle. However, the Union had a heavy advantage in this one. It was about 13,000 men under William Buell Franklin, who was commanding one of the corps in McClellan's army. They only lost about 500 of those men in this battle. The Confederates, however, only had about 2,000 men under Howell Cobb. What happened was Lafayette McLaws was ordered to take a fortified position, and he left this 2,000 or so men as kind of a rear guard in this gap to cover his rear. And he'd actually issued orders. Cobb was told, hold the gap, even if it costs the life of every single man in his command. That was the importance that was given to Howell Cobb about holding this position. And he fought accordingly. They actually lost just about half of their men holding that gap, but they held it against 6-to-1 odds. So I have a feeling the casualties are going to be significantly higher this time around. I'm going to move Paper Collar Brigade up so I can get a glimpse at where his artillery is. They're going to probably be back in here somewhere. I can see them firing. Alright, there's the Georgia artillery. Let's start hitting them. And we'll just stay in cover the best I can, let him start firing and wear down the ammo, because I don't think he has any supplies in this battle. So I think as we get toward the end, he's going to run out. And it's going to make my job a whole lot easier. Okay. Here's the rest of my force. I'm going to send Bayard and the Irish Brigade over to the left. Actually, you know what? I think that's what I did last time. I think I'm going to go ahead and go right up the middle. I'm going to try to get Hovey up around the flank if I can. I'm going to hold these guys back for a little while. I'm going to wait till the last minute. O'Hare's taking a lot of casualties, but it's also causing the Confederates to use up their supply, so I'm actually okay with this for now. I'm going to go ahead and resupply these guns now. Alright, I'm going to sit these guys right here. I'm going to wait for these other units to get up and around. Once they get up on top of the hill and they seem to have recovered well enough, I'll bring them in and I'll start advancing. And in the meantime, just continue to try to cause casualties on his artillery. Plus, Paper Color's doing pretty well in the shootout with the 15th North Carolina. We'll go ahead and move these guys up a little bit and start shooting where I've got some advantages. Like I said, I think long term he's going to run out of supply in this one. Okay, O'Hare, you can finally fire back. I'll break off some skirmishers, cover my left flank over here. Alright, his artillery is already running low on ammo. Alright, I'm going to move these guys up a little bit now. So it's kind of an even shootout for the time being until he runs out of supply, and then I'm just going to rush him. So he's lost about 1,100 men. I've lost about 1,400. Those numbers will shift, and by the time it's over, I'll have lost fewer than him. Alright, let's go ahead and overrun these guys. I'm not waiting any longer for him to run out of ammo. Oh boy, one of my 2-star units just routed. Oh, 16th Georgia just made a big mistake. By advancing like that, they're going to get themselves captured, just like the 12th Virginia just did. See, this is one of those weird battles where it feels at the beginning like you're not doing well, but once you get over that initial kind of bunch of casualties at the beginning where it seems like you're pretty evenly matched or even losing, you pretty quickly overrun these guys. Come on, Hampton Legion, get in there and get these guys before they escape. There we go. Alright, that's pretty well going to do it. Maybe this is one of those battles that'll let me continue the fight. I lost a couple of generals now. I'm not real happy about that. Leadership's still in kind of short supply. But if I can continue this fight, I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna keep this one going, because the odds are gonna start shifting more and more in my favor. I've got him about 3.5 to 1 right now. And backed into a corner. No, I think we'll keep going, but I don't know if it's going to let me keep going after the gap's not contested anymore. We may have only gotten another 8 minutes out of it. We'll see in a second. I'll let these guys recover a little bit. Yeah, that's it. As soon as it was captured fully, it stopped. Okay, so 3,300 casualties for me, 3,800 for him, plus the 1,500 missing. So by the time you add up all of these, it ends up being about 2-to-1 casualties. So I'll take that. I probably could have done that better. But as you see, we're starting to finally get some decent weapons captured. Instead of just farmer rifles, I'm grabbing some 1842s, a few 1841 Mississippi, some palmettos. In and of themselves, not going to do me a lot of good, but eventually I'll capture enough of those to really have it mean something. This really hurts, though, losing 2 brigadier generals. But this sets us up. We get that 1,000 additional recruits. I've got 44,000 men in my force pool right now, and $452,000. So I'm definitely, I'd like to say maybe medicine, but I'm going to go training just because I'm really just trying to get as many 2- and 3-star units as I possibly can. All right, he got another 2,800, 3,500, so he's still at 105 to 110,000. South Mountain, I'm going to inflict a lot of casualties. Let's take a look how many I get to take into that one. All right, so 20 brigades. He's sitting at 27,000 men. So we'll go ahead and take a look. We'll fire up the first corps for this one. There's 14 now, so I can add 6 more brigades. That's 18. I don't think I'm going to take any cavalry into that one. There's just so much woods in that one. So that's 15. How much artillery does that give me? 1, 2, 3. See, I'm still not entirely sure whether or not it's going to give me my 4th division, but so what we'll do is I'll put my weaker brigades down there just in case I'm not going to get them. So we've got 1855s. These are 1842s. Hampton's got 1855s. Curtin's 1855s. Napoleon's. Alright. Get some supply for this army as well. These guys all have 1842s. Man. Alright. Let's do this. Let's swap these guys out and get a colonel here. Irish Brigade's just about to 3 stars. Oh, these guys have farmers still. Nah, it's not going to cut it. There we go. I go back and double check everybody else. Okay. Several of these units are going to be hitting 3-star status before long. Let's take a look here. We got some more 10-pounders. Got a couple of brigadier generals available.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that gives me 20 brigades. Let's see what the matchup looks like now for South Mountain. Alright, now he's got 29,000 men. He's going to be facing my 45,000. about equal numbers of guns. So, yeah, it should be a decent matchup. I'll just need to try and get around his flank. Typically what I do is I'll put a small force here, send the majority of them around his right, and try to hit him through these woods, and that seems to work pretty good. I usually fold them up like a pretzel. So if you have better suggestions, if you think there's something maybe differently I should do, then by all means let me know that. Probably won't do that battle for another day or so. So plenty of time for you to have some input into that. As always, I welcome any and all observations. I feel like Crampton's Gap was not my finest battle. Some of them, you just feel really good and confident about. Others, it's just you feel like you kind of just skate through. And that was one of those ones where I feel like there's probably got to be a better strategy than what I did. So if you found it, please let me know. Let everybody else know. We can all benefit from your expertise. Thanks for watching. If you'd hit that thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos. By the time you see this, there should be a new video up in my series as Israel and the modern day mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Check that out if you're into such things, and hopefully we'll have some other things for you real soon as well. See you soon, guys.